5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Weather Impact Alert Day goes into effect on Saturday as a powerful winter storm moves through the region. Some of the finer details remain unpredictable, but some locations could receive up to 8 inches of snow. I've got your full forecast coming up.
So it's just the beginning of winter.
With freezing weather gripping St. Louis, shelters are stepping up like never before. Plus, a Thanksgiving feast for all.
Then we'll just load her plate up with turkeys.
No one should ever be alone on Thanksgiving.
How this showing of support and others across our region are giving back. And Thanksgiving leftovers could be a recipe for trouble if you're not careful. Learn the simple steps to keep your family safe.
We begin tonight's show looking ahead to a frigid Friday and a snowy Saturday. By this time tomorrow night, our area will be making its final preparation before the snow begins. Well, thanks for joining us at 10 o'clock. I hope you've all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm Tracy Hinson, joined by meteorologist Lance Blocker. And Lance, the snow, I'm so excited for it. I am a little upset, though, that Gary's probably going to win our winter forecast.
Yeah, I think he's already won it. I mean, it's going to happen. We're going to get the snow.
I just can't believe he beat me to the snow, though.
Yeah. Well, the bragging rights will last for a year. But we do have a winter weather, we have a winter storm warning in effect for our region, and we have a weather impact alert day. Really kicks into gear for us here. Saturday morning, that's 2 a.m. on Saturday, we'll see periods of rain, sleet, and snow, mainly rain and snow, to be honest, as this system tracks westbound across our region throughout the day on Saturday. That's the big snowfall day for us. And again, heavier snowfalls to the north. Could see upwards, like I said a moment ago here, up to 8 inches for a few locations. Not widespread, but it's still a few locations with that. So we could expect some travel delays too. Some snow-covered roads are likely, especially into Illinois. So we're going to keep you updated. We've got you updates coming tomorrow morning, and then of course throughout the day on the 5 Plus app. And we'll have hourly updates beginning tomorrow night as well. Futurecast shows that rain, sleet, and snow moving in from the west for us here throughout much of the day tomorrow. Widespread. This is one of the more aggressive forecast models with the widespread snow, that is. The heaviest snowfall expected to the north where the winter storm watches are in effect. I'm going to go into detail on exactly how much snow we expect coming up in about 10 minutes. Tracy.
All right, Lance, starting tomorrow night, the Weather Impact Team will have extended coverage to help you get ahead of the snow. We'll be tracking the threat with hourly updates all weekend on the 5 Plus app. You can download it by searching KSDK on your smart TV or streaming devices app store. You can also text the word weather to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you the latest forecast to your phone. Right now, we are following breaking news in St. Louis. Fire crews are battling a significant fire at a vacant 2-story apartment building. Investigators tell 5 on your side they believe it was set intentionally. The homes are located on North Florissant, just blocks away from Hyde Park. That's where we sent our Megan Kernan, who just spoke with crews at the scene moments ago.
We're here on the 3900 block of North Florissant Avenue in the Hyde Park neighborhood, and I am here with Battalion Chief Bill Paulahan. Chief, what can you tell us? What happened?
About 9:45 this evening, the crews from the firehouse that's closest to this area had a call and they smelled smoke, so they started investigating on their own around the area, and they came upon this. When they came upon it, they had heavy fire on the first and second floor. They asked for additional equipment. What we call a first alarm was dispatched. Once we got here, we started setting up. It was what we call a defensive stand. We weren't going to go in to get this. It was unoccupied. It's a 16-unit apartment building. There's actually 2 16-unit apartment buildings. It was just the one just to the north side of it. We did call for both utilities just to double check, make sure that they were out. Everything was safe at that point. Right now, all the visible fires out. They're checking for the hot spots. Once we get all that done, we should be out of here in about 45 more minutes. Crews did a really good job actually finding it and calling it in themselves.
And Chief mentioned that there were no injuries, that it was unoccupied in a 16-unit apartment complex. He said that while there were no utilities here, they still had Spire and Ameren come out just to check it out. Again, there was no injuries here. Reporting in St. Louis, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
Tonight, Florissant police are investigating a shooting involving a teen. Officers say the teenager was driven to their station for help after being shot around 8 p.m. They immediately rendered aid until paramedics arrived and took the victim to the hospital. Tonight, the teen is listed in critical condition. It's unclear how or where the person was shot. On this Thanksgiving night, as temperatures drop and winter weather moves in, one St. Louis tradition is making sure no one goes hungry or feels alone. Pride St. Louis hosted its 19th annual Feeding the Community dinner, serving hundreds of hot meals at St. John's Episcopal Church. That's where we sent Megan Kernan earlier tonight. She shows us how these warm meals came at the perfect time.
Do you want it to go or do you want to eat it? Do you want the ham? Okay, that'll work. Here.
On a cold Thanksgiving night with snow on the way, Pride St. Louis served nearly 600 hot meals through deliveries, pickups, and walk-ins at St. John's Episcopal Church.
Oh, just a lot of community love right now.
And for hundreds, that love tasted like turkey, stuffing, and a warm place to sit. This is the meal that nearly 600 people are getting on Thanksgiving night. You have ham, turkey, bread, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, and of course, pies. Jordan Braxton with Pride St. Louis says the need is growing, and volunteers even went outside to bring unhoused neighbors inside for a hot meal.
We have so many people who need support right now. We have food inequities and food inequalities, and we have food deserts here. So we just make sure that we feed anyone.
For many, like Daryl Sapp, this wasn't just dinner. It was relief.
Warm up and get a hot meal, a hot cup of coffee, and you got great hospitality from the people.
Across the room, volunteers say every thank you was worth it.
We've had folks who came in who grabbed extras because they saw people outside who maybe didn't have a meal. So I can't imagine being outside in this kind of weather. So being able to come in and have a warm place for a little bit, getting a hot meal, getting a cup of coffee, surely must be a blessing.
Pride St. Louis boxed up the remaining meals and delivered them to patients and staff at St. Louis University Hospital.
We want people to know that Pride St. Louis is here for the community. No one should ever be alone on Thanksgiving.
Reporting in St. Louis, I'm Megan Kernan. Happy Thanksgiving from 5 on Your Side.
Pride St. Louis says they've tripled the amount of meals served this year. With winter weather moving in Friday night, organizers say they're glad this year's dinner reached so many people, and they expect the need to grow. Tonight, a St. Louis Thanksgiving tradition celebrated 40 years of service to our community. For the past 4 decades, Mom's Soul Food Kitchen and Catering has been serving free meals to anyone who walks through their doors on Thanksgiving. The restaurant teamed up with radio station Smooth 95 to help spread the word about today's giveaway. Mom says it's looking forward to serving more free meals for the 41st year in a row next Thanksgiving. Well, are your Thanksgiving leftovers still sitting out on the counter? If so, tonight food safety experts say you probably need to throw them away. Experts say most cooked foods served during Thanksgiving can only sit at room temperature for about 2 hours. The only exceptions are baked goods like cookies or whole fruits and nuts. They recommend putting leftovers in the fridge immediately after eating. If your leftovers are already in the fridge, you can eat them for up to 4 days. Then you must throw them out. A refed report estimates 320 million pounds of food will be thrown away this Thanksgiving. That adds up to around $550 million worth of food.
A community in mourning after one of the National Guard members shot in D.C. dies.
We know that their lives, their families' lives are all changed forever.
The new details we're learning about the suspected shooter. Plus, scammers on the prowl this holiday season. The warning from Missouri's Attorney General.
Radar checks out all clear across our region this evening, but this is the powerful winter storm that's going to arrive this weekend. I've got your latest coming up next.
Tonight, a vigil was held in West Virginia for 2 of the state's National Guard members shot yesterday in Washington, D.C. One victim has died from her injuries, while the other guardsman remains in critical condition. Tonight, investigators are releasing more information about the 29-year-old suspect and the new charges they face. Mary Bill Gonzalez has the latest.
20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, the National Guard members who were shot Wednesday near the White House, were tasked with protecting the nation's capital. On Thursday, President Trump announced that Beckstrom died from her injuries.
She was savagely attacked. She's dead. is now with us.
We know that their lives, their families' lives are all changed forever because one person decided to do this horrific and evil thing.
Wolf is still hospitalized in critical condition. His neighbors spoke about his character.
He'd get the shirt off his back to somebody. He's just a really good guy. We always looked out for each other.
Hopefully, things work out good for him. He's a hard worker, good kid.
Authorities identified the suspected shooter as Ramanola Lakinwal.
He resided in Bellingham, Washington, with his wife and we believe 5 children.
The 29-year-old Afghan national who worked with the U.S. government, including the CIA, came to the country in 2021 as part of then-President Biden's Operation Allies Welcome, a program aimed to protect vulnerable Afghans in the wake of the U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan. He applied for asylum in 2024, and then the Trump administration granted it in April.
He drove his vehicle across country from the state of Washington with the intended target of coming to our nation's capital.
The Trump administration says it will re-examine green cards issued to people from 19 countries of concern, including Afghanistan. I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Nearly 30,000 meals were served at Fort Leonard Wood today. Service members and their guests ate up to 4,700 pounds of turkey, 6,300 pounds of prime rib. While the tables and faces at Fort Leonard Wood look different than the ones at home, organizers say the warmth felt is just the same. Well, we're just minutes away from the start of Black Friday, one of the biggest holiday shopping events of the year. Tonight, Missouri's Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is warning customers to stay alert for scams. She says avoid websites with weird spellings or hyphens, be skeptical of deals that seem just too good to be true, and watch for fake delivery failure or order confirmation emails for things you never ordered. And if you can, skip the debit card and use a credit card this holiday season. Those usually have stronger fraud protection. Well, when we think of Thanksgiving history, we usually think of the Mayflower, Pilgrims, and the iconic feast. But what about the day off? The important part, right? Well, you have one woman to thank for that. Her name is Sarah Hale. She wrote essays and letters calling for the national holiday, making it a personal mission of hers for 36 years. She wrote directly to Lincoln in 1863, asking him to use his powers to create the holiday, and he did. But there's more to the story. You can catch it Friday morning at 10:30 on The Record with Mark Maxwell. You can also always watch it anytime after, streaming on 5+. Right now, the first code blue of the season is in effect in the city of St. Louis. It has already been tough, extended through Tuesday. Mayor Kara Spencer's executive order signed just last week changes how the city handles extreme cold. Today, I went to one of the shelters impacted by the city's code blue and learned how their operations have changed.
The mayor's office has been really steadfast in trying to make sure we have enough beds and support for winter operations.
Amanda Lawmeyer is the Chief Operating Officer for Peter and Paul Community Services.
We have an auditorium that we've converted into a space for individuals that has cots on it.
Warm shelter for men and women, but also families.
We also have private rooms on the couple of the floors of our tower here, and that allows families to have a lot more privacy. They have their own restroom, more space, and just a lot easier for kids.
Services Peter and Paul have always provided, but under the City of St. Louis's Code Blue, there's more coordination to make sure shelters have the help they need. Even with the help, Lawmeyer is worried.
So it's just the beginning of winter. We usually don't start this stuff till December or January. So it has been a little bit of a bigger need, and along with the tornado, we're also seeing more folks that need beds and need shelter.
A need Brian Fraley, a volunteer coordinator for In Excelsis charity, sees every week. Volunteers for In Excelsis serve meals every Sunday and a few holidays.
When it's warmer out, we only have a few people here on Sundays. When it gets colder, we can have a full room every week.
Now, in addition to extra bed space, Peter and Paul will also be operating 3 different shuttle routes to help get people to shelter. The first pickup zone is in North City at the Urban League Women's Business Center on Natural Bridge. The second is at Centenary United Methodist Church on Olive. And the third is at Carondelet Park's tennis and pickleball courts. Those free shuttles will run nightly from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. through Tuesday. And Lance, looks like something we're going to need. You have our weather impact forecast.
Yeah, we've got a lot of changes coming over the next 24 hours. You can check it out right now for us. Everything is nice and quiet. We expect that here this evening. It's going to stay quiet for us here as well tomorrow. Radar is all clear, but we're going to go from here all the way up to the Pacific Northwest. That's where that system is right now, moving through the Pacific Northwest. It's got to go 1,600 miles from here all the way down to us before we start to get in on some of the rain, sleet, and snow out of this. So any minor deviation is tracked, whether it's faster or slower or maybe just a little bit off in its course, could be big differences for our snowfall across the region. Again, for us here tomorrow night and through Saturday. So we're keeping a close watch on all the forecast data and what we expect. I'll get to that here in just a minute. But for us tomorrow, Black Friday looking great. Mostly sunny early, increasing clouds late in the day. High temperatures, though, it'll be chilly with highs in the upper 30s. Then we get in on the snow as the winter storm impacts the region, and cold conditions for us here on Sunday as well, meaning we could see some refreeze issues too. Winter storm watches have been posted really from St. Louis points northward for us on Saturday. That just means that winter storm conditions with up to 8 inches of snow for a few locations are possible in the next 48 hours. When we get closer to it, these will likely be upgraded to warnings, and we'll see advisories placed down to the south unless the data changes and they expect more snow down in the south too. Let's look at some of the most recent forecast model data. This is what we call the high resolution rapid refresh model. It shows the rain moving in. Yes, that's right, rain moving in early in the overnight hours on Friday night and through Saturday. As it does that, it's going to help cool the atmosphere, resulting in widespread snow. Some of this could be heavier at times. Let's look back down to the south. You can see some of the yellows and oranges mixing in. That's where there's very heavy rain. If you look back up north, it's similar to that, just falling in the form of snow. So we could see upwards of 1, maybe even 1.5 inches per hour in a few locations. This is through the early morning hours on Saturday. As it moves eastbound in through Illinois, it really overtakes the region there as well. And then the big question is where that dividing line is between the snow and then the mix and the liquid precipitation. That will dictate how much snow we expect across the area. We're very confident with this forecast right now. It is subject to change as we get a little bit closer to it, but 4 to 6 inches of snow to the north. Again, snow-covered roads, very likely there. 2 to 4 inches of snow for us here in downtown. But think about this too, the rain falling on that. Even if we get 4 inches of snow, the rain's going to dissipate some of that snow on the ground, so it's going to look a little bit less than that. But nevertheless, we do expect that snow will be across much of the region, especially the further north that you go as we get through Saturday. And again, we want to advise folks, it's such a busy travel day on Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. A little bit of ice can cause a lot of problems. We're keeping that weather impact alert day through Sunday just for that. Tracy?
It's going to be a busy weekend for us, Lance. And all right, I guess it's Thanksgiving, so we must talk about sports.
We must, Tracy. The Billikens played a Thanksgiving nail-biter in the desert. Eli Drinkwitz has about 10 million reasons to be thankful this year. And what's a turkey day without some Kirkwood and Webster Groves football? An extra helping of sports is up after the break. Pretty rare we get a local team in action on Thanksgiving. The NHL is off. We don't have an NFL team. College football waits for the weekend, and it's hit or miss on college hoops holiday tournaments. This year, we got a local team in action, and it ended up being quite the Turkey Day performance for SLU basketball. Out to Palm Desert, California for the Acrisure Invitational, undefeated Santa Clara, the opponent for Josh Schertz's squad. Remember this Kellen Thames finish at the rim. That's going to be important later on. Trey Green went off in the desert. He was dialed in from deep in the first half, then kept it going in the second half. Green had a game-high 21 points, including 6 threes. That one gave SLU a 1-point lead with 7 minutes left. 13 seconds left. SLU now down by 1. Ball in Kellen Thames' hands, and he finishes at the rim with the up and under lay-in. Bills up by 1. They need to stop on the other end, though, and they'd get it. SLU wins a nail-biter over Santa Clara 71-70. How about that game winner from Thames, Coach?
He deserves it. You know, not that nobody doesn't deserve it, but if anybody deserves good things to happen to them and some moments in the sun and to hit a game winner and have his fingerprints all over a win, it's Kellen Thames for, you know, what he's been through in his fight, and really, really proud of him. I thought he was awesome tonight.
Huge Missouri football news today. Eli Drinkwitz has signed a 6-year contract extension with Mizzou. It'll pay him $10.75 million a season. Drinkwitz has a record of 45-28 in 6 years at Missouri, with bowl wins the past 2 seasons. Mizzou has also sold out Memorial Stadium for 20 straight games and has produced 17 NFL draft picks under Drinkwitz. The new deal is also expected to come with an added salary pool for the rest of the coaching staff. One of the greatest sports traditions every year is laying on the couch with a full stomach and letting nearly 10 straight hours of football roll on by. There may be a nap or two mixed in there, but have no fear. When you wake up, there's an NFL game waiting for you, like that comforting second helping of mashed potatoes. First, a game you saw right here on 5 on your side. Joe Burrow's return for the Bengals as they battled Baltimore. Play of the night, Burrow to the corner, and Tanner Hudson makes a tremendous one-handed catch for the touchdown. That was so good, we have to see it again. Cincy on top. Bengals kept the pressure on. Burrow to Andre Yosevas. That's another score as Cincinnati goes on the road. They beat the Ravens 32-14. Huge playoff implications for the Chiefs and Cowboys in their battle down in Dallas. Chiefs behind in the fourth quarter, but Patrick Mahomes is going to find Rashee Rice, and KC goes ahead 21-20. Later in the fourth, Cowboys on the doorstep. Dak Prescott's going to wait a little more until he eventually tosses it to his running back, Javonte Williams. He goes in. Dallas has the lead, and they would not give it back. They hang on for a 31-28 victory and deal a big-time blow to the Chiefs' playoff hopes. Packers in Detroit facing the Lions in their St. Louis contingent on Turkey Day, and the kid from Cardinal Ritter had a day. Jamison Williams is so fast and so slippery, he is always dangerous. Takes a short pass, evades the defense, goes in for the touchdown. 7 catches for 144 yards for J-Mo on Thanksgiving. It was a close game, but the Packers prevailed. Jordan Love to Dontavian Wicks for the score. Green Bay wins 31-24. It is getting serious in the high school football playoffs. We're down to the Final Four. In Class 4, A.J. Ofadale's Festus Tigers are a win away from back-to-back state championship appearances. Last year was the first time ever that Festus had played in the state championship game. Now that they've gotten a taste, the Tigers are hungry for more.
It definitely did. That was the first time in school history that we made the finals. I think before you actually see it and feel it and do it, I think it's hard to believe that that's possible for you, especially historically if it's never happened. And then once it does happen, I think the kids behind, they see what work it takes. They see what you need to do to put yourself in that position. And so it becomes real. So the motivation to do that work is much greater.
Annual Turkey Day battle for the Frisco Bell, oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi. Webster Groves and Kirkwood. JV teams battled this year with Kirkwood still alive in the Class 5 playoffs. Pioneer JV team did their part to carry on the streak. Carter Downs on the carry. He's through the defense down the sideline. That's a Kirkwood touchdown. Later on, Nick Tucci airs it out, finds George Kidd. Nice catch. Got some green grass there to go in for the score for Kirkwood. The Pioneers win 45-14 to claim the Frisco Bell for the 12th year in a row. And that will do it for sports.
Y'all were busy in the sports department today,
busy
Corey.
Thanksgiving.
All right, well, thank you. Well, Thanksgiving isn't just for us. We'll show you how the St. Louis Zoo gave its animals a feast to remember. Trending tonight in Idaho schools, Thanksgiving party crashed by a surprise visitor. Teacher Lori Robinson said she was cooking turkey for her students when some of the juices spilled on a coil, causing smoke to fill her classroom. She opened up her classroom's doors to clear it, and the next thing she knew, there was a wild turkey that had just walked in.
The kids all sat down quietly, and they would throw her little pieces of bread, but that was the highlight of our Thanksgiving celebration. She didn't mind that we were roasting a turkey at all. She just enjoyed the company.
Well, that's kind of sad. But Robinson says because the school is located on 40 acres of woodlands, students can have experiences like this up close and personal. And while many of us were enjoying a big Thanksgiving feast, well, so were the animals at the zoo. The St. Louis Zoo shared this video with us today, showing its creatures getting some festive holiday treats. I feel like I never want to look too closely when it's the polar bears or the tigers at what they're eating. Usually the sea lions have something kind of cute. We're told it was turkey, corn on the cob, and maybe even some classic pumpkin pie.
It looked pretty good.
Chowing down.
What's your favorite side?
Well, mac and cheese always.
Okay,
That's always going to be number one. But
Mashed
green bean
potatoes.
casserole is like the
potatoes.
only Thanksgiving thing.
Got to be mashed potatoes, I think.
If
I'm
they're
going
good,
dressing.
though.
Yeah.
Dressing.
That's right.
I like the croutons. Okay. Well, we'll see you tomorrow morning on Today in St. Louis Weekend Edition.